Hi, I'm Karissa Kruse, President and CEO of the Sonoma County Winegrowers. I am so excited to invite you to our office today, show you around, and talk about all things sustainability in Sonoma County.
Hey guys, this is Sid Patel, CEO of Beverage Trade Network and Sommelier's Choice Awards, and we are here at this beautiful place. I have Karissa Kruse, who's going to show me this place, and we're going to talk about the association, the sustainability, what's happening at the Sonoma. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, love it. What a beautiful day, huh?
Beautiful.
Great to see you.
Beautiful place. So I think why I'm here, guys, is really to double click on the sustainability part, which, Karissa and the team has been leading for, and we all know that Sonoma is really pushing this, advocating sustainability. It's been about a decade we just were chatting.
Yes.
A lot of wineries and a lot of, I think, sommeliers are also coming on board. So let's go deep into the subject. Give us a little, introduction about, for the international folks, especially, who don't know much what you're doing here in Sonoma. So let's give us a little starting point, please.
Yeah, so a decade ago, we made a very formal verbal, bold commitment to be 100% certified sustainable in all of our vineyards. And I know sustainability is now a very popular word, and that gets thrown around a lot, but for us, it was something we took very seriously as sort of part of the DNA of Sonoma County. What sustainability commitment meant for our growers is that our growers signed up and agreed to follow 140 best management practices across everything they do in their businesses. So it's everything on their environmental footprint and impact to their business, and thinking about multi-generational farming and how they maintain a viable business. And then also social sustainability, which I think is probably the least talked about piece of sustainability, but to us is one of the biggest and most important pieces. So the growers follow these 140 best management practices. They actually get audited by a third party every year to sort of assure that they're doing these practices. And then every year they're asked to do some sort of continuous improvement. So this really ensures that they move on the continuum towards more and more sustainable.
And they have to renew their certificates again and again?
Every year.
Okay.
So it's an ongoing annual process that they do. And as part of that, the sustainability program evolves and changes. Clearly now we think more and more about our carbon footprint and climate stewardship than we did even 10 years ago. So as the practices evolve, when we learn how to be better, or do better, maybe use less resources, be more efficient, we start to incorporate those practices into our sustainability commitment and program.
I think you have also helped share this program, right?
Yeah.
So it's from the top and from the bottom as well. So how does the bottom process work? Is this a voting process, or is it a collective thing that they all also decided that we want to go this way, we want to be known for this?
Yeah, so at the time, like I said, a decade ago, sustainability was a concept, but not really talked that much about. It was a unanimous decision by our board of directors. I have a 22-person board of directors, mainly farmers, who said, this is something that is really important to us that we want to commit to. We want to be seen as leaders in sustainability. We want to be seen as stewards of our land. We want to be seen as good participants and engaged in our community, as employers of choice with our workforce. And so all of those factors played into them sort of saying, we agree as a board, we want to make this commitment as a region. And then it was this collective process between the board members going out and speaking to their neighbors and talking to them. We also said to a couple of farmers, what motivates farmers? I always love this. What does motivate a farmer? They said ball caps and bumper stickers. Well, that's pretty easy. So we actually went one step further, and we created a sustainability sign that growers who came in and adopted the sustainability program and went through the audit could put on their vineyard. Now we have over 2,000 of those signs around Sonoma County. It's a very visible way for visitors and guests to come into our community and see those growers that have put this sort of practice, into action on their vineyards. And so, slowly, by like any adoption of any big idea, the innovators start first, and then, in the last year of it was a 5-year commitment. So in 2019, some of the holdouts finally came around. So we hit 99% of all of our vineyard acres are part of a sustainability program and certified. So and that was in 2019. We are so fortunate here at Sonoma County Winegrowers that our office is actually on a vineyard. It really allows our whole team on a daily basis to be able to know firsthand what's happening in the vineyard, because that's a question we get asked all the time. The space you're in right now we use often for events. You can see we have a bar here, so yes, we do open our office to have occasional tastings, people in, socials, and we also open it up to other organizations in our county to be able to use this space. We're headed now into our boardroom. I think this might be one of my favorite rooms in all of Sonoma County because it holds so much significance. As you can see on the walls in our boardroom, we have a number, actually hundreds of our vineyard employees. This is a program we do through our foundation. It really is trying to elevate social sustainability here in Sonoma County. So every month, grape growers, vineyard management companies can nominate one of their vineyard employees to be our employee of the month. We choose 4 employees every month in different categories, some farming categories like pruning and harvest, other categories, soft categories like communications, leadership, innovation, taking initiative. And we're so proud when someone wins an Employee of the Month, we actually take their photo and they literally are the backdrop of our boardroom. So we all know at the end of the day, it's our employees, it's the people that matter most in our business. So this is a great way for us to honor and recognize our vineyard employees. So this is our boardroom. As you can see, a lot of technology, but also old school, an old redwood tree that was milled for our board table. So this is where a lot of the big decisions happen, including our big commitment to sustainability when our board unanimously decided they wanted to be 100% certified sustainable in all their vineyards. So hope you can come visit us here because it's really exciting. And because we're on a working vineyard, we actually put in an entire vineyard walk. We call it our Farm of the Future walk. It starts right here, literally in our backyard, where we're able to showcase and walk folks, whether it's media, SOMs, trade, winery partners around our entire vineyard, and showcase all of the innovation and all the programming we're doing around regenerative farming, around technology. So it all starts right here with the backdrop of some great Sonoma County Pinot Noir.
How are you? As you said, you're improving every year.
Yeah.
Where do you see, and are you, I'm sure you're listening to the market as well, right? What do the chain buyers want? What do export markets want? So what is happening next?
Yeah, and I think, what we're seeing, it's kind of both sides. So we're seeing both with the marketplace saying, obviously, sustainability is really important, more and more to consumers, to a younger demographic, not new news. And we're also seeing our farmers saying, you know what, farming keeps getting harder, it keeps getting more expensive. So how do we sort of continue to deliver to the marketplace, grapes to wine, to the consumer, and to a lot of the trade support that is your audience? How do we deliver what needs to be done and still be viable? So for us, we realize that technology and innovation play a huge part in that. And also there's a huge, I want to say, learning curve and cost of adoption of any technology. So we've been really trying to work and realize that in Sonoma County, we provide this amazing backdrop, literally and figuratively, of what we consider a living lab for innovation to sort of come and be born here and help support growers around the world. So we've literally invited global companies to come into Sonoma County, maybe those companies that typically would invest in the Midwest and big ag to support our local growers, and we call it our Farm of the Future effort. And so we think that—
So they teach you?
To teach us and to actually learn together. So it started with a really innovative program that I think we talked about a few years ago with Ford Motor Company and Ford Pro, trying to really answer the question if we can go electric on our ranches.
Wow.
Will an electric vehicle like a truck or e-transit van deliver what is needed for agriculture so we can be part of the climate solution? Will we be able to have successful charging capability in a rural community, which is where most of our wine growers are around the world, not just here in Sonoma County? So we piloted this program with Ford Pro, and it really inspired us and created case studies so we can learn if a grower wants to invest in a Ford truck, what is that return on investment? How long? What does it mean? What are the pros and cons? So we hosted a Farm of the Future Summit here a year ago. I invited companies in, and one of the things we're really working on was courting John Deere, which is typically known in the Midwest for corn and soybeans, dairies, and hadn't really done as much with high value crops, wine grapes. So we literally invited John Deere in, and now we're 6 months into a collaboration with John Deere, really innovatively thinking about farming. We are piloting their Smart Apply technology. It's a sprayer that uses LiDAR technology, AI, to actually turn on and off the sprayer when it reads canopy. So you have a sprayer going through the vine row, and it's not spraying if it's not actually spraying on canopy. Reduction in spray material, it's cost savings, more efficient, better for everyone, including the business. So we're really looking to invite partners in to pilot with us.
And they can use you as a lab or testing and come up with new ideas. And
come up with new ideas.
They hear your problems and they'll work on that solutions.
Yeah, so we just had the John Deere team here, and we were talking about like this part of this sprayer works really well. This part is a little trickier. We need more education on or more training. So working together, then we can actually say, here's how we make this a viable piece of equipment, technology, not just for us in Sonoma County, but growers and farmers everywhere.
Great.
So we're pilots. We're pilot partners for a lot of these organizations.
That's great.
So this is what I call our Sonoma County Fast Facts. Some stuff you need to know. So Sonoma County, we're quite large as a region, over 1 million acres. That actually makes us larger than the size of the state of Rhode Island. But only 60,000 of those 1 million acres are planted to grapes, about 6% of our county. Out of that 6%, we have 1,800 grape growers that we work with and represent, and just under 500 wineries. Other important things to note, we have 19 different AVAs, American Viticultural Areas, growing regions that demonstrate different topographies, different climates, different histories, different elevations, different soils. We actually have more soil types than all of France, and literally we grow over 100 different grape varieties here. So we do so much well. We literally are a little microcosm of the world right here in our Sonoma County community. And of course, we care more than anything about sustainable farming, sustainable winemaking, and we hope that when you see a name Sonoma County on a bottle of wine, that you know it's all this great stuff, and a real mission towards doing more, doing better, that goes into that bottle.
For the wineries, you have a nice blueprint here. You obviously are hand-holding a lot of wineries to take this approach, but let's say other wineries who are not part of this body or association, or maybe they don't have extra resources. What are some good ways they can get started on this journey? Like, what would you advise a 3-step phase, or what is a basic? At least get that first, then go here, and then go in the innovation part.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first step in anything is just sort of, I honestly think as a team, do you have a culture that has an eye towards sustainability? I mean, is there something that you care about and place value on? Because I think in any organization, it takes everyone really working together and aligned on sort of the mission. So I think it's important from the top up or bottom up, top down, bottom up, that the entire organization is starting to sort of move in that direction of a mission towards sustainability. And then I think it's really assessing your own business, like, and being really honest. And the key to sustainability is transparency. So really understanding, like, this is where we do really well and here's where we need improvement. There are a number of sustainability programs for wineries and growers, at least around the state in California. And I know around regions
So
around
what are the
world.
3 or 4 which are the most recognized, let's say, in US?
Yeah.
As far as the trade is concerned.
Yeah, so probably the biggest one that folks would know about is the California Sustainable Wine Growing Alliance, CSWA, Certified Sustainable. It's part of a program that the Wine Institute and the California Association of Wine Grape Growers sort of co-created decades ago.
So you go there and you see the requirements and then you start working towards that?
Totally, so you can easily download sort of the program. It shows all the practices, and the best thing to do is start with assessment of your business. So, and that's where you learn. And I think the beauty of sustainability is that it really, you can start wherever you start, and the goal is to move in the right direction and to move towards being better, to using less resources. So it's really like the most important piece, step number 1, to start.
I think when people think of this, it's more of an investment, like it's a cost exercise, it's an additional thing, and as you know, we're still struggling. The consumer shift is happening, non-alcohol or low alcohol, the young generation is not drinking, so it's very hard for people to invest again and become sustainable these days, because it will require an extra funds, right?
It does.
What's your pitch to encourage our wineries?
Agree. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Recognizing all the dynamics that are going on. I mean, honestly, I think when you think about sustainability, it really is, I would say, a short-term investment for a very nice long-term return. And I mean that on a number of ways. One, Sustainability we know is important to consumers. So at the end of the day, it matters actually for the sale of the product, wine in the bottle. It's also really important as you invest, because the goal is also not just sustainability, but also comes efficiencies from that. And part of some of these pilots we're learning is to build those case studies so a grower or a farmer knows, or a winery, that if they invest in an electric truck versus a technology in a sprayer versus using some sensor for irrigation or carbon flux in the soil, that how long does it take to return on that? So they know the best place to put that extra dollar, maybe not even extra dollar, to find the dollar to invest, and over what time horizon they can see that return. But technology is going to help us all. I think innovation, the way we look at more mechanization, but we have to pilot some of those and learn how we make those programs viable and efficient. So I always see, yes, it may be a short-term investment for a really good long-term benefit that's good for your employees, good for your business, and good for the planet, which is sort of
And I think this is very clear, right? Like you have seen that it's just going in one way now.
Yes.
I think, so let's go on some data. If you have anything, just even on the feel of things, like I know that Target is that kind of retailer which values this, but are there more retail chains coming on board? Because it all starts from there as well, or maybe wholesalers like Southerns of the world, are they paying attention to this? How is the trade coming on board?
I don't think our team and our growers, our wineries sit in a single conversation now where sustainability doesn't come up, to be quite honest. I mean, I think whether it's the wineries meeting with our growers to buy the grapes, or it's the trade meeting with the wineries to say we want to buy your wines, or the consumers showing up and saying we're here having a relationship and experience with you, sustainability matters. They want to know how their grapes were grown. They want to know how people were treated in the process. So I think really understanding as a business where you are and where you're really leading is really important to your messaging. And important to every element of the entire value chain.
Because Sonoma has been doing great in marketing, in advocating this message. It's very clear that you're pushing this, right? Any tips for the winemakers that, okay, on your website add this logos, or do this section, or on the bottle use this? Like, show us some places where they can push sustainability.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere is probably the answer. Clearly on your website, when I think you talk about your business, your story, your values, it should be front and center. If someone walks into your tasting room, they should be able to see and recognize the practices there. They should have an experience where you have a well-trained staff and team, and from winemaker, on down to tasting room specialists that can literally say, if you come walk the vineyard, let me point out things that are happening here that we're doing that matter to us. So I think it's really educating everyone that is part of the business, so then that everyone in the business can be always educating about the sustainability commitment, whether it's a consumer or a trade partner. We have a great label, I call it sort of our sustainability seal of approval, that you can put on your bottle of wine if you are buying grapes from a certified sustainable vineyard, which is clearly very easy to do here in Sonoma County with our commitment. And you're also making wine from Sonoma County, so it's just kind of like a little stamp. I think that's really great, especially for the trade, our somms out there, our frontline folks at restaurants, on premise. They can literally, as they're walking up with a bottle of wine, they can say, look, this is an easy way to communicate sustainability. It's a little stamp of approval. And so I think, really understanding those key messages and using every platform. You have social, it's great to do little videos, stories that are pointing out if you're putting in an L box, because that's good for integrated pest management. Taking a quick video of that or a photo and talking about why that matters, so we're all educating the consumer on these important practices that we're doing.